A simple blowing of the French horn updates into needing to evacuate. A creepy experience of a mother projecting her dating fantasies. And the tale of Maureen. And who cares if your husband's dying from cancer? I want grapes. Hello, my snacks. Welcome back. My name's Jack. We're about to get in some weird stories today. So buckle up, buttercup, and let's get started. We now move on to a story that's come back up from way back in 2020, starting out with just wondering if they're the a-hole for ruining my brother's-in-law's day with a purposeful fart. Sounds rather ridiculous, but the updates that came later, no, they're not nice. So, brother-in-law and husband co-own a house that was passed to them by their father. We live in one half while the brother-in-law lives in the other. The only thing we share is the living room and kitchen. The rest is completely separate. Now lately, the brother-in-law has been making odd comments about my ladylikeness. I am a down-home, backwoods, dirt under my fingernails, still playing mud puddles, basically wood rat of a woman. He's been cutting into hard labor chores I do and tells me he'll do it so I don't hurt myself and get dirty. He'll make positive comments when he sees me cleaning. Lucky man. And says things like, I've never seen you cook. You should cook more. Note, he does not cook either. I like to look nice here and there. Whenever I do dress up and do makeup, brother-in-law makes comments about how I should do it more often, and I look super nice. He has said, dressing up for husband. All of these I shut down with, I do it when I feel like it, or I'm doing it for me, etc. He is not a bad dude overall. He's actually a riot to hang out with, but it's little subtle things spread out, and it digs at me as roommates do. Luckily, we're moving soon. Let's just zoom onto that. He is not a bad dude overall. Yep, that's some great foreshadowing for the later. Anyways, yesterday I belched in the kitchen because I thought no one was around. Brother-in-law pops his head in and jokes, have you ever thought about being more ladylike? Now the tone is joking, but the word ladylike is like my emotional tailgating car. Tailgating only makes the person in front slow down. Telling me to be ladylike makes me turn that schmidt way down. I have mad props to graceful and more traditional ladies if they like it, but I am not one. I say, nope, and he replies, you should consider it, and leaves the room. Bro, what was the point of that comment? What did you achieve? So this morning, I'm walking by the living room. Brother-in-law is watching the morning news, and I decide to grace the room with a big, long fart. This is the just woke up and schnitzel is moving fart. It is the fart that has been building all night. It is loud, it has vibration, and even in the tiny room, it echoes. I'd honestly give it a good 9 out of 10. It was a damn masterpiece. I thought it was hilarious immediately. Brother-in-law, not so much. He proceeds to jump up and rage about how gross it was. Far out, I've heard him blow out farts before, and how women shouldn't do that. I know, right? Women with, what, bowels? Yeah, ew, why? What are you putting inside you that you need to actually, like, get rid of through waste? Hashtag stop women eating. Unfortunately, by this time, I am doubled over in tears because I can't stop remembering the fart, and his rage has made it even funnier. He gets beyond mad and storms off to his bedroom. It's now 9 p.m., and he is still enraged and hiding in his room. He says it was an a-hole move. I mean, that's technically the truth. At first, husband thought it was funny too, but now, since it's upset his bro so bad, he's leaning towards maybe it was too much and too immature, and that I should have just told him that he was being overbearing. But I feel like, as a 37-year-old man, brother-in-law should have known better than to think he can tell a grown woman how to behave. It probably would have been better to talk about it. But who pouts all day over a fart? So, am I the a-hole for solving problems with an a-hole? Okay, that is genius writing right there. Just gotta shout out all these beautiful comments first. Not the a-hole, but you have to be careful with fragile men's egos. It must have hurt him being so upstaged like that. Not the a-hole, you didn't ruin his day, he let it ruin his day. Yeah, what you did was gross and a pretty scummy roommate behavior, but I think his constant judgment and the outdated views he is pushing on you are a much larger issue than a flipping fart. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, unless he can show you on a doll where your fart hurt him. So with all this love and support, the OP comes back to the story. Main edit just woke up to this, combing through comments and loving it. Brother-in-law came to me when I went to go make coffee and said I made him feel uncomfortable in his own house. I told him it's my house too, and I've seen him do the same unashamedly. He made a couple "But I'm a man," comments, and I called it out as sexist. He asked me how it was, and I asked how it was not. Are you... After a few back and forths, he started to understand that he is not my husband. This is my house too, and I do not and will not ever meet his southern standard for a woman. He wraps it up with, "Oh, I guess it was kind of funny," and stalks off. I left a coffee peace offering in the living room, where he is enjoying Saturday morning programming without a violent crop dust. We're all going to make dinner tonight and have a family makeup with, hopefully, no dinner table farts. I have some standards. All in all, pretty damn good end result. And I bet I will never hear "be ladylike" from him again. Just some additional notes too. She did talk to her husband about all this, explaining that for a while she didn't really care too much. She felt it was enough to just brush away. Husband did offer to talk to his brother for her, but she says, "No, I've got it covered." She also acknowledges that, yes, she could have just talked from the beginning about it all, but also, hey, farts are funny. Totally understand that. But of course, the story does not end there. As we go down from the top comment, OP has shared a little reply. Update. I ruined my brother-in-law's day. The short story is, my husband's brother is really scaring me and I need to get into my own house now. I am not a professional artist, but I'm willing to do illustrations in return for help. So I live with my husband and his brother. Both of them co-own this house, but my husband and I were gifted a small piece of the farm by their now-deceased father. We have been living with the brother to save money and build a little house, and we have done so by penny pinching, scrounging for resources, and reusing as many materials as we can. At first, this was all okay, but in the last few weeks, the brother has gotten worse and worse, up until the point where I can't stand to be here anymore. It started as jokes about me being a lady, asking me to cook and clean more, telling me to be more ladylike around the house, etc. I brushed him off and stood my ground, and I thought we were fine, but lately it's been getting worse. He demands that I cook him meals. "Hey, why don't you go ahead and cook burgers for when I get home?" And once dumped his laundry in front of my door, so I had to pick it up and give it back to him. He was all offended, saying I was supposed to do it for him. He demands that I clean up the living room that we share, but I never get to use because he's always taking it over. He has, in the past 3 weeks, shoved his head into my half of the house, separated by a door, and complained that it's cleaner than his because his brother has a wife and it's not fair. My husband has tried multiple times to tell him to screw off, so he started doing things that his brother won't see, or does it when he's gone. Purposefully hangs around the hallway where my bathroom is when I get out of the shower, so that when I leave, he's conveniently passing by and will dip off saying, "Oops, sorry," after catching a glance of me walking to my bedroom in a towel. So I've started scrubbing off and getting dressed in our cramped little bathroom. I used to sing in the shower to music, but in the past couple of weeks, he started going on about how I have such a beautiful voice and he loves to hear me sing, so now I've stopped. I've also caught him putting my cosmetic oil on his hands and smelling them. Brother has been after him multiple times to stop being creepy, and the past couple of times he got heated and told my husband that he doesn't deserve someone like me, how my husband is a bad husband, and that I will surely leave him soon. He's also made sure to make comments about my appearance or his own lately, saying he likes my clothes, hair, and makeup that I fix up nicely, and whines about how he is fat and ugly and could never get someone so beautiful. He's told me I smell nice and has started brushing my arm with his fingers by accident a lot. The other day, I noticed someone had gone through my drawer where I keep our intimate toys, and my husband claims it is not him. One is missing. I don't feel safe here anymore. I feel like a piece of meat, and I've spent the last week in my bedroom afraid to leave. I only leave to go to the bathroom, go straight to the car, etc. I don't eat until my husband gets home from work. We have been struggling to get out for a while, but with COVID, our hours have been cut and we are really struggling. Originally, we were supposed to be able to have moved in by now, but with the extra strain, it's looking like weeks. What's most frustrating is that the cost of getting everything fixed enough to move in is an attainable number, but time and time again, we've saved up only to have a sudden emergency rip away our funds. I just want to lay down to sleep in my own bed and not wonder what's going to be said when I leave my room again. The new house is nearly a half-mile away from this one, and the brother won't be allowed to come by. I'm afraid to leave him around my cat as well, as he used a switch to whip him once when he knocked a cup of coffee coffee off the coffee table. I raged at him and he shrugged it off and acted like nothing happened. My husband is losing it as well. He broke down crying about not being able to provide a safe place for us and our fur baby, and I've never seen him sob on the floor before, but he's just as defeated and tired as I am. We have worked for years to get better after a bad accident wrecked my ability to work for about a year. We've been slowly rebuilding and moved into this house to stop paying rent. The house is paid for and husband half owns it. We've sold everything of value to get this house made and have been driving junker cars to make up for it. I am coming here as a last resort to please ask for help in getting me out of here. It would solve so many problems. I haven't slept in days and everything is blurring together now. Now, sadly, that is the last update to this whole debacle. The OP actually deleted their entire account and previous story, so we don't really know what's concluded here. But at the time, some people with actual legal background were offering some sound advice, which hopefully they applied. Things like selling their share of the property to the brother, completely detangling them from him, and giving them a chunk of money they might need. And should he refuse to buy it off them, technically you can apply for a forced sale of the property, which is a new term I learnt. But either way, start recording things, taking notes as they happen, and maybe, depending on your situation, even apply for a mortgage. Moving now over to r/entitled parents. Mom slapped me for not letting him kiss me. I'm a 17 female. My mom, who's 44, in the past few weeks has been trying to force me to date her friend's son, who's 17 male. For context, him and I used to be pretty close friends back in middle school. 2 months ago, he has broken up with his long-term girlfriend. Despite me having a relationship, my mom's constantly telling me to come over to comfort him, always telling me he is the perfect kind of guy for me. One day, he tried to kiss me, so I told my mom that, and that I don't want to hang out with him anymore. She slapped me so hard that I almost cried, told me I'm making him more sad by doing this, and I should be ashamed. She later phoned him and said sorry to him, and told him I really loved him and he should not give up. Sadly, he listened to her and he keeps trying to hit on me. Now, first read through, you'd probably fathom, what the heck is this mother thinking she can just do this to her own daughter? And reading the replies this OP has to some of these comments, I'll be honest, I'm not surprised the mother thinks she can do this. Again and again, as people try to offer a solution here about confronting the guy, calling the school up about it, calling police about it, she just doesn't have the heart for that. Like, I'm sorry, you're literally complaining about your safety and discomfort about this person, but oh, you don't want to hurt their feelings. Look, don't get me wrong, I understand that. There's a lot of us out there who would rather take the pain ourselves than inflict it upon others. But yeah, some comments just are sick of it. Just a long spiel about saying, listen up here, buttercup. There is no one looking out for you in this situation but yourself. Someone is going to take advantage of you like this and you need to stand up for yourself rather than waiting for someone to save you. So, in the update, she tries doing these things, calling the police and... well, just wanted to give you an update. So I started to write down every incident, reported it to the school counselor. They called the police. They questioned me about it. Furthermore, they talked to my mum. She acted like she was unaware that she made me uncomfortable and said the slap was accidental. After they left, she told me that she should have raised me harder. Since then, she's not spoken a word with me. The guy sent me a text, the police visited him, but he had no hard feelings about it because he knew I would never harm him. Police probably just misunderstood what I said. So that's it for now. And hopefully forever. Of course, top comment here is immediately calling out this guy here for just being so shady to insinuate that he's the innocent one here. Time Jew here highlighting, this guy just knows how to play the game. He is trying his best to make it look like OP is the instigator trying to get him in trouble, and he is just a poor, innocent dude not seeing how she is setting him up. Which definitely turns this whole story from just being a case of a boy being foolishly dragged along by this a-hole mother to an a-hole mother and an equally manipulative guy. It doesn't all end there though, as we get to the next update that happened a month later. Probably the most ridiculous attempts by both the boy and the mother so far. Hey everyone, sorry about not updating or answering messages. My mum took my phone away from me. I usually use it in the morning when she is sleeping. She did not allow me to leave my room at all. She called the school and told them I was sick and couldn't go. Barely gave me food. I have decided that on Monday I will be moving to a friend's house. Yesterday, she told me that my boyfriend texted me and that he wanted to meet me at the park, and if I really wanted to go, she would allow it. but I couldn't leave the park area. Gave my phone back and shared the GPS coordinates with her phone to know I really didn't. And she is the one driving me here and driving me home. I was surprised at how generous this was in comparison to the previous few days or weeks. I, of course, agreed. Even in a limited space, this is good. So I quickly prepared, because she had only told me an hour before. She wanted me to put up clothes that she said were sultry before. I just thought she really did a 180-degree turn. When we arrived, I saw him nowhere, but she assured me he would be there. I got out of the car and just waited on a bench. I looked through the messages my boyfriend sent me, but there was no mention of this meetup. I thought maybe my mom would want me to believe my boyfriend had forgotten and I would be mad at him. But I saw someone coming. It was the guy my mom wanted me to set up with. I started to realize what this was. I quickly read his messages and noticed that my mother, in my name, had invited him to meet here. He came to me, hugging me. I immediately told him I had not sent the messages. He looked like he understood. I told him I would be leaving my mum's house, but didn't tell him when or to where. He suggested that the simplest solution to my problem would be for me to simply kiss him when she sees us. I told him no way. I decided it was time to go and called my mum to pick me up. When he heard the car arrive, he pulled me close and said, "Kiss, okay?" I didn't reply, which he took as a yes and kissed me. After that, he told me he loved me and kissed me again. I just said bye and left. When I got into the car, Mum just smiled and said we looked very cute together. Hopefully after Monday, I will never see her again. Now the latest to the story was just 3 months later, where the OP has said that an update is coming this week, but that itself was a month ago. Some theorize this might be a case of a lawyer being involved, some might be also concerned for her own safety. So for now we can only hope that things turned out better, but... Meanwhile, over in petty revenge,
we're picking all the grapes.
My parents rent a house on a 1/4 acre of land. The land with rows of grapes is not being rented to my parents, but the landlord lets us pick them and juice them every year. The only access to the grapes is through the land my parents rent. Before my parents moved in, this old lady, Maureen, used to pick the grapes with her family and juice them. As a side note, Maureen has her own grapes, but she likes to use our landlord's grapes too because previous tenants did not. Every flipping year, it's a battle to make Maureen wait to pick grapes so we can pick a share. The landlord has been clear that we get first dibs on the grapes because we're his actual tenants. We always leave her at least a row, 1 of 4. Every year, she tries to be a sneaky little biscuit and get the grapes. But this year was the worst. My mum told Maureen that she was going to pick the grapes this weekend. Well, this weekend came and went without being able to pick grapes. My mum's helper crew got sick. My dad was recovering from major surgery, and she couldn't find the time or energy. So Maureen's crotchety old butt calls to inform my mum that she is coming tomorrow to pick all the grapes we didn't. My mum asked her to please wait a few more days as her husband, my dad, has cancer and her helpers were sick. Maureen's response:
"That's too bad. You had your chance. My family is coming tomorrow and we are picking the grapes."
Jeez, all this hostility over grapes. Of course, my poor mum loses it at this point and begins screaming.
"Shame on you, Maureen! You call yourself a Christian?"
Maureen continues telling her she had her chance. So my mum came in and told me the story. I said, absolutely flipping not. We are staying up as late as needed to pick every single grape off the vines. Every single one. We both called as many friends as we could. The troops are being gathered. We now have about 10 people to help us pick the grapes. We will pick every single grape so that when stupid Maureen and her stupid family show up, there will not be one little fruit left on the vine. Now you may be wondering, what the heck is with this woman's absolute fascination, Maureen's desire for all these grapes? Well, we find out in the update. Update, oh my goodness, wow, okay, well, I love how many of you would help pick grapes. It makes me feel bad about the fact that the update isn't super satisfying. Maureen called my mum last night, an hour or so into picking, to apologize, and said we could have all the grapes. My mum, being a much better person than I am, told her that she can still have a row or two because we didn't need all the grapes. But Maureen kept saying no, and that she won't come by at all. Ironically, it almost sounded like she was throwing a fit about it. Like, buddy, we're being nice and still letting you come? So we did pick grapes, but not everything. We still hate Maureen. Apparently, she's 92, and she believes she will live forever because of her homemade grape juice. So that's one reason she's so crazy about this whole thing. Maybe she will live forever, but that would be unfortunate because she's an a-hole. Yeah, certainly one of the more ridiculous stories to be getting up in arms about. Grapes? Wow, this old lady's treating these grapes like Rapunzel's hair. Anyway, that's the end of today's video. Thank you as always for watching. Check out some other videos while you're at it if you'd like, but until next time, love your face, drink some water, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.